And we also have just a tremendous amount of stuff. Takes priority over all things. We have two special guests with us. Carla Haas is in the Halloween T-shirt right here next to me. Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine is her specialty, and we also have Kim Reese from Barkstown on Frankfur Avenue.
Hi.
Do you go by Reese or do you go by another last name? Because you got married.
I did. Reese is my married name.
Okay, so we can call you that.
Yes.
What's your maiden name?
Boyle.
See, I thought it was. Did I ask you if you had relatives in Portland, Oregon?
You did, and
you said
not
no?
that I know of, but I would like to have relatives in Portland.
Well, then you could go visit
Right.
in one of the most beautiful cities in the United States. Well, I'll tell you what. What are we doing here, Carla?
Put my notebook down.
Get up there to that microphone, Carla.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Carla of Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine. She has fed me well over the past month with her Rudy Green's
And Brady.
Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine, and Brady too.
Yes.
But
Sharing.
yes, I want you to look in the camera right there and show them the T-shirt.
Oh, yes. Front
Show
and
the
back.
front.
Here's the front.
There's the front, and
But
then the
really,
back.
this-
Look at that! Awesome. No, don't do that. This is a family. This is
right.
a family
I was
radio
wagging
station.
my tail.
Yes,
It's Waggin
I know.
Wednesdays.
Okay. Okay, so you guys can see the pictures of you on the screen,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So when you every once in a while look around at the camera and give a nice smile and a little wave so that everybody can see you. You won't see my mom on this shot, but she is relaxing right here on the couch that
come
is
on, sit up
usually
and say hi.
occupied by dogs. But we won't tell her that. She's exhausted because I have kept her very busy all day. And I think the best part of the entire trip so far has been that she was greeted as she departed the plane by a ton of people who wanted to thank her for her service. The flight attendants had told everybody that she was a World War II veteran, a Navy veteran.
That's so cool.
And there are not many left. And so she was applauded, and she had a lot of handshakes and a lot of thank you for your services, and it was pretty awesome.
Very well deserved.
Yes, and you said
Thank
it made
you.
you cry, Kim.
It did make me cry.
Aw.
I saw your video.
I know,
it
it's
was
on
so
Facebook.
Great.
You got to see it on Facebook,
look.
Carla. So we're talking on Waggin Wednesday about some pretty exciting things, and we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up in the holiday season, of course. And we're going to start, Kim, with you. We're going to jump right past Halloween because I know you got a lot going. But I want
Yeah.
to talk first about the doggy walk at Christmas.
Yeah.
During the Frankfurt Avenue Christmas Parade, and what you are going to be doing at Barkstown on Frankfurt Avenue.
We are very happily hosting the pet costume contest.
Fun.
At 11 a.m. on Saturday, December 3rd. So mark your calendars. We're going to
do the walk first, right? Or you're going to do your thing first?
Yes, I think the contest is first.
Okay.
So we'll do the contest. There will be 3 winners. Everyone who participates will have a prize. It's going to be fun. We're going to have lots of gifts for dogs, cats, and pet lovers available for purchase, and as we will throughout the entire holiday season. But it'll be really fun. We're really looking forward to it.
I would suggest you give the biggest winner a box of Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine.
Definitely. Rudy
Well,
Greens will be.
we will
a
be
part-
there.
Yeah.
Good.
And this is kind of exciting. We will be celebrating by sharing our Rudy Green's holiday buffet,
Oh, no.
especially
How
with
funny.
Barkstown Road shoppers
Yes,
this year.
that'll be
so we are
awesome.
going to make a special batch just for Barkstown Road this year, so people can get Rudy Green's holiday buffet, which is a Thanksgiving and holiday meal for your dogs, which is turkey, pumpkins, green beans, everything that would be on your plate, but smushed together and made for dogs.
I'm making this tighter so you don't have to bend over because you're kind of tall.
I am kind
You
of
are
tall.
kinda
I already
tall.
went
Let me
like
make a
this.
model.
I already went like this. And I think, okay, there
That's
we
a
go.
little easier to talk to. I set all these up thinking I got them the right height, but I forgot how tall you are. It's
I
okay.
know.
So
Our
anyway,
model.
Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine is really funny. I mean, this story is really funny because Carla came in right after Brady had his cancer surgery. 2 big mast cell tumors removed, and very grateful there weren't more. And the
Yeah.
really good news is they were grade 2.
Yes, they were low grade.
So we didn't have to have chemo. If it had been
Yay.
grade 3, we would have had to take that into consideration. I'm very glad that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
And so Carla came. Not only did she bring Rudy Green's doggy cuisine, she brought a comfort collar
Yes,
so that he wouldn't have to wear the cone of plastic shame. And that little thing was so soft and gentle around Brady's neck, and she gave them so much love. And it's funny because a lot of people just go, "Oh, just let me know what you need." But
Yeah.
if you do, they don't do it. So
Yeah.
she didn't even ask me, let me know what you need. She just came over, which was just the most awesome thing ever.
I know.
So
Carla's
thank
the
you.
best.
I'm a dog mom.
You are a dog
Yeah.
mom, and she had those dogs just at her beck and command. It was just awesome.
I'm happy to do it.
So she was awesome, and she brought 4 boxes of Rudy Green's doggy cuisine. And
That's
she
awesome.
informed me during the show that she was on that it was human grade food, which means that people can eat it. So I decided to give it a shot, and she said, feed the dogs and then put some salt and pepper on it and make it for yourself, because it's not flavored, obviously. You
Yeah.
don't put salt and pepper on animal food.
Right.
So I videoed myself eating the dinner, and it tasted like beef stew. I mean, it was really good. And so I ate my dinner along with the dogs and made a video of it, and people thought I was crazy, but I explained. It's all human grade. It's the same inspection process as is required by human food.
Yeah.
Right,
It
Carla?
is made in a human food facility that is USDA, FDA, and AIB inspected.
Isn't that amazing?
And it is the only pet food in the country that is under those guidelines. It is because it is not pet food. It is actually human food. We could switch the packaging on it and sell it for
Beef stew.
for bland beef stew. We could sell it for baby food.
But the salt and pepper was fine.
yeah,
it made
you know
a
what?
difference.
Worcestershire, soy sauce, Tabasco, just a little bit, cha-ching, makes it perfect for
Isn't that
for
funny?
humans.
I loved it. Have you tasted it yet?
I haven't, but I'm a vegetarian.
Ah.
There
Do
you
we
go.
have vegetarian options yet?
We
The
have,
Vegemite?
yes. I started with a vegetarian option, and actually a vegan option that didn't sell real well. Dogs kind of like meat,
Yes.
and it was perfect for people who have have dogs that can't have a lot of protein. Wanted something without any meat in it. It was good for that, but that was a very small percentage of the population. So
Yeah.
we have phased that out.
All right,
Although
Kim,
I'm
sorry.
available to make that.
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
carry it. when
Sorry
I-
for your luck.
It's okay.
It
I'll
stinks to
take
be
your
you.
word for it because it looks really good.
It was
and
really
my
good.
dogs love it. My
I
dogs
know.
are not vegetarian.
Isn't that funny?
So
Will these buffets be available at both the Bardstown Road, Barkstown, and Frankfur Avenue?
Indeed,
Locations?
they will. Yes, and they
Awesome.
will be out before Thanksgiving. They will be there before Thanksgiving.
Oh,
So, and it's
wonderful.
a wonderful gift. It makes a fabulous gift for a hostess. If you're going to someone's home for the holidays, why not take them something besides a bottle of wine or flowers or even a covered dish? This is a really thoughtful gift if they have for kids
And
at home.
even if they don't.
definitely.
even if they
Yeah,
don't,
they
here,
can eat it
here.
themselves. That's what Oprah said. I always tell people that during the holidays that Oprah said if you don't know what to get somebody, get something for their dog or cat because you can't go wrong.
Absolutely.
It's different from what other people are getting.
They'll love you
It's
forever.
always appreciated.
I never
So
thought I'd hear
it's a
you
cute
quote
idea.
Oprah. I just
know.
kind of was a disconnect there. I just like,
I kind of like the idea though.
I think it's
really great
great.
idea. And you
Yeah.
have a huge selection of stuff available at Barkstown Road at
Mm-hmm.
Frankfur Avenue, and I think that it's exciting that you are a Frankfurt Avenue business. And that's why we like to patronize you, and why I
Yeah.
love to have you on the show, to promote you, because
Thank
you
you.
can send people to the big box stores and you can send them out of Crescent Hill. But we really appreciate all the hard work that Frankfurt Avenue businesses do for our neighborhoods that surround Clifton and Crescent Hill and even up into St. Matthews. So go ahead.
We're
Carla.
lucky to have her in this area because
Yeah.
there are no other stores in town that have the selection, the quality products that she carries. No one else does. And it's not only do they carry the most superior product lines as far as food and treats are concerned, but they're the people that work in Barkstown are all very well educated, are very helpful, and can guide you and help you make the proper selection for your specific pet.
And there are a lot of wonderful stores that have a lot of wonderful foods. And when you go up in the whole process of shopping, you start with at grocery stores, you're going to see a lower priced product. And that's simply because a lot of people go to the grocery, can't afford to buy a more expensive dog food. And, then you start to move up. And the higher you go, the more it's like, the quality of Rudy Greens. And that's, it's still reasonably priced, which is what I found interesting.
For the quality it is. The irony of the pricing and the quality it's just absurd, because there are some of the most expensive priced products that are on the market for dogs and cats for food are some of the least quality.
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
Products that are out there.
It is. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Well, when you take in a particular brand of food, what are your criteria?
I always look at the ingredient list first. I never want to see corn, wheat, soy, the word byproduct, and I also never want to see a non-specific meat protein.
Okay, so what is a byproduct? Let's describe it in gross detail.
Yeah, Carla.
A byproduct.
You
a
could probably
byproduct
say
in
it
general
nicer than I could.
are parts of an animal, and usually you will see a meat byproducts. But there also are grain byproducts. They are the cast-offs from the human food chain.
Yes.
So a byproduct of a chicken can be its feet, its feathers, its beak. Yes, a byproduct of rice can be the middlings. It can be hulls. There are all kinds of other byproducts, and they're usually made into a mill run or a meal.
So corn would be the husks; those would be byproducts, right?
And the actual ear.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, those are made into that's a filler.
The animal byproducts are not parts that an animal would eat. So if you think of them catching prey,
they're going to leave them.
They're going to eat the middle section,
right?
If that makes the soft middle section.
Sure.
They're not going to be They're not going to be eating the feathers, and they're not going to be going for the feet first. The feet might be an afterthought that they're going to gnaw on them, which will help clean their teeth, and that's why I have things like dry roasted duck feet and things like that. But those are going to be like a supplemental treat. It's not going to, you don't want that in their everyday meal. Correct. You want a quality protein, because when you start incorporating low quality proteins like that, that's where you run into problems with the kidneys. It's very, very taxing on the kidneys. Because the kidneys have a hard time processing a low quality protein. The body their bodies don't know what to do with it.
It's like with, our bodies with NutraSweet.
Yes.
It's like, what is this? Is it sugar? No, it's not sugar. You don't know. Your body doesn't understand how to process it.
Yeah, because when you stop to think about it too, as you categorize things, okay, so you categorize a show dog by conformation and temperament and I guess the sheen of their coat and whether they are intact and whatever. There are all these qualifications, and that's why I'm interested in knowing what it takes to get a food into your store and what criteria it takes to build a Rudy Green's doggy cuisine meal. And and it's not comparison. We're not talking about who's better. We're talking about who's different, basically, because there are differences. And when you look at those lists and lists and lists, I've just started looking at ingredients in my own food.
Yeah.
And I find it fascinating. And this was after Carla talked to me about what was in the dog food that I was feeding. And she gave me an 8 out of 10, which was pretty good. And we were talking about the food that you have, and I think yours was a 10. My choice was an 8, but it wasn't a 4. It wasn't a 1, so I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah.
But I've looked at my own ingredients, and I'm grossed out by the fact that almost every food that you can find on the cereal aisle is sugar, first or second. And I don't know how you could
or 3 different forms of it. Yes.
Yes, sucrose and sugar and natural cane syrup and organic cane sugar and there's a million types of sugar. Honey, honey's good for you, but not with 5 other types of sugar too.
Right.
So I've been really conscientious about that, and so I've started looking at the dog food ingredients too.
Boy.
It's
Yeah.
amazing when you, because that's how I am too. I've gotten so interested, obviously, in what I'm feeding my dogs and cats, and
Yeah.
it started to kind of translate into my life. You know, like one of our brands we carry ferments their food, and so I started learning about the good qualities of eating things that are fermented, and so then I've started drinking
Do you
kombucha.
do kombucha? Oh my gosh.
So I've started to try to
Your skin looks really
incorporate
good.
that into my life too. Wow, thank you very much. I do like to say I wish that somebody could control what I eat the way that I can control what my dogs and cats eat. But
That'd be a big
do the
job.
best I
That'd be a
can.
big job.
She does have beautiful skin.
She does.
But
Oh,
then
yeah.
so do you.
Guys.
So do
Well,
you.
thank you very well.
And
yes,
look at that.
Everyone,
I know.
My mother
I know.
has just the softest skin at 95. It's amazing. Yeah. Her hands are
gorgeous.
Just reach over there and touch her
Gonna wake
hand.
her up.
You won't wake
She's
her up.
resting. She's actually not really sleeping. is
She's
she?
really tired. No, she's tired. I have run her around. Run her
It'd be hard to
ragged
keep up with
today.
you.
I know it is kind of hard to take a little break here and come back. I really love the fact that Carla Haas from Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine and Kim Reese from Barkstown Road on Frankfur Avenue are here on Waggin Wednesday.
I wake up 9:30. The sun is shining and I'm feeling fine. I get up, go downstairs, and out the back door in the morning air. Walk around my backyard, smell the flowers, shout at passing cars. I lay down right in the grass, happy not to let this moment pass. Whatever the weather, it's gonna be the best day ever. Whatever the weather, it's gonna be the best day ever.
And there he goes again, Nick Pay, our absolutely wonderful guy. We love him so much. And I really love the fact that on Wednesdays, I get to do not only 4 to 6 with Waggin Wednesday and Take It From Tara, I also get to do a wonderful show called the HomeGrown Radio Hour. Tonight, my guest happens to be Ryan Sinclair and All the Little Pieces. She's an amazing young woman in her teens, and she does all kinds of fundraising, and she has had the living room concerts where she has gone into a beautiful place and done concerts to sell tickets online, and then she gives the money to a wonderful group in Lexington. So I'm just so grateful that she's coming in tonight. Ryan Sinclair coming up on the Homegrown Radio Hour at 7 o'clock. Listen closely for her. So my guest today on Waggin Wednesday, the beautiful and talented Carla Haas from Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine, and the beautiful and talented Kim Reese with the softest skin around. And she is the owner of not only Barkstown Road on Bardstown Road, but Barkstown Road on Frankfur Avenue.
Yes.
So tell me how you decided to go from one location to two. I mean, because that's a big jump.
It was. I just felt like it was time to grow. So we opened the Frankfurt Avenue store last fall, almost about to celebrate our 1-year anniversary, which is exciting. But our space in the Highlands is small. It's great. It serves its purpose. But we were just ready for something bigger where we could do more events. We could have larger freezers to carry more frozen products like Rudy Greens. So it was just time. It was time to expand, grow a little bit. I don't know. It's funny. I've noticed this trend with myself. I'll be like, oh, no, that's too much. I can never do that. And then a year or two later, I'm like, all right, we're going to do that. Like, we're going to try that. So that's sort of what happened last year. I was like, okay, let's try this. Let's do it. And my husband is very, very, very supportive and always pushing me in a positive direction. Like, let's do this. Let's go bigger. Let's do this. And
Awesome.
So, yeah. So it was lots of different things that contributed to that. But, yeah, it was just time. And this area is so wonderful. There's so many other great local businesses. There's so many wonderful people who live in this neighborhood and people who care about their dogs and cats and care about shopping local and shopping small.
I know somebody who comes in from Bullitt County to shop at Bardstown Road at Frankfur Avenue.
Nice.
One of the dog rescuers. And it's just amazing because I can't imagine driving 30 or 40 miles Well, like my hairdresser moved to E-Town, and I said, love ya, but I'm not going to drive for an hour. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drive an hour each direction to get my hair done with 50,000 hair salons in this town.
Yeah.
But to buy dog food, we would go thousands of miles.
Indeed.
Definitely.
Who cares about our hair?
Indeed.
The puppies only get the best.
Well, like Carla was saying, I just have products that are different from, I just have products that are different, I should say. I have things that you can't find.
Selected.
Yeah.
Carefully selected. And
so-
you know them. And that's a huge selling point. And you can go in there and you say, okay, if my dog has an allergy to this, what can I feed him? And you and your people that work with you know.
And another thing that's
great.
really great is at our Frankfurt Avenue store, we share the space with a holistic vet. Dr. St. Germain is in Thursdays and Fridays.
Oh, wow.
And
that's
that was
cool.
another kind of push for us to open the store. She and I had been working together, and I knew she was looking for space in Louisville. So it made sense for us to go in on something together.
Sure.
But that's a nice option, too, that if it's a Thursday or Friday and you need to ask a quick question to a vet or, it's nice that she's there, too.
It absolutely
It's a really
is.
great synergy.
And that's pretty cool because I like the fact that you guys are having cooperative events with vets because a lot of people,
Yes.
let's just say it, a lot of people can't afford the kind of bills that come with regular veterinary visits. So it's wonderful that you're providing the opportunity for a Q&A. And that's what I do,
Yeah.
too. I occasionally have a vet in here, and we have questions that are, sent in on Facebook, which is the way that I like to do it. And we answer those questions, and it doesn't cost a doggone cent.
And the
Right.
kind of vets that are allies with us,
Yeah.
that understand nutrition and care, genuinely care
Yes.
about the health and well-being of our pets, are the same kind of people who are willing to do events and talk to pet lovers and give them advice.
And next Thursday, I don't think I've said this yet, but next Thursday, November 3rd, Dr. St. Germain will be doing an hour-long kind of Q&A, and
Cool.
she'll be doing a talk about holistic versus traditional vet medicine, because that's a question a lot of people have.
Sure.
And
Right.
of course, there are everything's situational, where sometimes traditional vet medicine is the best option, and sometimes holistic is the best. So she's going to be doing an hour-long talk about the differences, sometimes what's best with different things, and then, of course, she'll be available for questions. So Thursday, November 3rd, 6:30, our Frankfurt Avenue location.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that'll be. I just thought I might as well bring that up while
You can
we were
promote
talking
any
about
event
that.
you have. Yeah, you can promote any event you have coming up, and we do this with the musicians as well. We only have local and regional musicians on Crestnell Radio, and we love to be able to promote the wonderful work that they're doing out in the community. And unfortunately, it's hard to get the word out, and that's why we like to devote all of our airtime, 24/7, 365, to promote the people who are here, just as we do Frankfurt Avenue businesses. We like to promote the folks who are out there working themselves, literally, sometimes just till the end of their rope. Yeah, literally trying to make a living, and it's really hard because they're working day jobs and they're working nighttime jobs, doing gigs, and it's very, very difficult to do. So, I love the fact that we're doing everything that we possibly can to make absolutely sure that they get the benefit of our promotion. And tonight we're going to do all little pieces, whatever they've got coming up. We're going to talk about them, Ryan Sinclair. Today we're going to say whatever it is that Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine is going to be doing to help the stores all over the place, not just Barkstown Road at Frankfurt Avenue. But you noted something here to me.
Yes, I'm doodling. I'm
Fooled.
doodling. This is something that we'd
Pet
like to talk about.
Fooled.
Yes.
I'd love to hear about it. Go for it, Carla.
Okay. There is a film coming out, and the national debut for it is January 10th.
Okay.
And here in Louisville, there will be the Kentucky premiere sponsored by Rudy Green's and Barkstown Road
Awesome.
of this film. It is now listed on the Gather site, which I thought when I saw the spelling of it, it was a grinder for movies, but apparently it's a little bit more than that.
G-A-T-H-R.
G-A-T-H-R,
no E.
And it is a site that allows people to present their films, their independent films,
Okay.
And grow an audience and support for them. And you can actually reserve the theater. People can go in and reserve seats for it when you reach the tipping point for the audience.
Yeah.
How many people need to show up? Then
Yeah.
your ticket will be purchased. So this film is the first of its kind. It is an expose into the pet food industry.
It says the underbelly of the pet
underbelly
food industry.
is it's an understatement.
And it's a documentary.
It is a documentary that is going to educate, inform, and turn the stomachs in some ways of people about what this industry makes and what they get away with. It's sinful what we are feeding our pets and what we've been brainwashed to think we should feed our pets.
What was in the food that killed all the pets in the big food recall in the late 2000s?
Melamine, which the industry had disguised as a way to elevate the protein levels. But it was technically rat poison, is what it was.
my God.
And that was in 2007, and thousands of animals died. And they are, there's still lawsuits that are pending over it.
Wow.
And very little has been done to change the way that we oversee the oversight for this industry.
And unfortunately, that is what these big brands do. Instead of,
Right.
if they want to up the protein, instead of adding more
Meat.
meat protein in, they find cheaper, easier, more accessible ways to like manipulate the ingredient panel or the like crude analysis, so that percentage of protein goes up when you flip it over and say, oh, this has this percentage of protein, but it's not necessarily coming from chicken meat. It's coming from
It's byproduct.
it's byproduct, or it's like Carla was saying, they find this melamine
Drugs.
Yeah,
Right.
that is to up the protein
Right.
percentage, but it's not actually protein.
That is so frightening.
What people don't understand too is there are 5 big companies that manufacture 90% of the commercial pet food in this country, and it is not regulated. It's just not tended to, and it's all for profit.
I want to talk more about Pet Fooled, which is a documentary that is going to look at what the pet food industry really is trying to pull over our eyes. And first, I'm going to let you know where you can find music tonight. Wednesday is the beginning of the weekend for local and regional music, and this is where you can find it.
Let's take a look at the WCHQ concert view for Wednesday, October 26th. All right, folks, we got plenty of shows for you on this fine Wednesday evening. Start you out over at Diamond's Pub in St. Matthews. You can go and check out Mr. Kevin Cummings right across the street at Gerstl's place. You can go and see Timid and Doug. How about down at Kaju, Oozy Moon, Insect Policy, and American Legion. Down at the Levee at the River House, you can go and check out Ma'am Overboard. How about down at the Stevie Ray's Blues Bar, the Blues Drifters? 3rd Street Dive will have an open mic tonight with Out of the Dark, Hot Stop, and Josh Preston. The Living Room series will have the Walker Lukens and Owasso. Down at Goodwood Brewing, live local Wednesdays with Miss Alana Fugate. Over at Trixie's Gold Room, Ritz with Jaron Bitton and Mr. Stax Flow. Over at Time and Space, you can go and check out Hollow Bone.
This has been your WCHQ Concert View. If you've got a show you'd like to let us know about, go to CrescentHillRadio.com and hit the icon at the top of the screen that says List Your Gig.
Yeah, those are the guys from the Morning Jam. Love our Bryce and Kevin, 7 to 9 a.m., Monday through Friday. Glad to have them with us. We are in the middle of Waggin Wednesday, loving every second of it. Carla Haas is my guest, along with Kim Reese of Barkstown Road at Frankfur Avenue. They carry Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine, which I absolutely love. And Nick Pay, of course, always bringing us into Waggin Wednesday with our favorite theme song. At least it's my favorite theme song.
It's everyone's.
So cute.
Everybody. It is.
It
The
makes
Day in
me
the Life
so
of my dog.
happy.
Although the Brady theme song's pretty cute too.
Brady's theme song
It's
is
really
wonderful.
cute.
I've got a song for each one of the dogs.
Yeah, Wyatt's
and,
pretty nice,
And
too.
they're going to be, Wyatt's is pretty cute. They're going to be doing their own show. It's pretty exciting. Yeah.
What are they going to talk about?
Well, whatever that we're talking about.
No, just a great.
They've been speaking to their grandmother, and she's been looking at them, really thinking that they're talking to her, which is great. And she talks back to them, which I love. It's very interactive.
That's neat.
She
That's
says
sweet.
she says I love my grand dogs, which is really cool.
It is cool.
So we were just talking about Pet Fooled, which is a documentary that is coming out. You said January 10th
January 10th, yes.
in Louisville,
Yes.
and it's going to be great, and it's going to actually benefit one of our local dog rescues. You want to talk about that,
Yes,
Carla?
well, and hi, Rebecca Eves. If you're watching this, we are going to donate $1 for every ticket that is sold to
Nice.
the Arrow Fund.
Love that.
Yes, it is a movie that is going to hopefully change some of obviously change our awareness, but hopefully make it a positive improvement in the pet food industry, and we're looking forward to being a part of it. It's on the Gather site where you can visit that now. Just punch in the zip code and it'll come up.
GATHR.
GATHR.
Okay.
And there is a website, petfooled.com. They also have a Facebook page. Kim on Barkstown Road and obviously Rudy Green's Facebook pages will be updating and putting on information
I'll put it on there, too.
as we proceed with
Yeah.
the plans for this.
Yeah.
And Cole actually mentioned he would love to talk to you, Tara, if you would like to talk to him.
I would
closer
love
to the
that.
date.
I would love that.
Fun guy.
And I'd love to have him as a guest on the show because I think late December, early January, we'll start to really get people looking for stuff to do.
Exactly.
As it gets cold and they're going to want to be inside, so we're definitely going to do that. There is a Facebook page, and
Yes.
just for fun, I'm going to post this on my Facebook page so everybody knows how to get there. And that way, if you want to look at my Facebook
Perfect.
page, you can find the information. So you guys do all kinds of wonderful things. Charitable organizations really depend on you, especially rescues. So you give a lot of your time and energy and products to things like silent auctions. I mean, there's silent auctions all the time, all over the city. It's human charitable stuff. It's animal charities. So where do you draw the line? How do you stop thinking about
How do you
how
say
do you
no?
define
That's hard.
no not for profit and profit? I mean, because you have to make a living.
Yeah, I try to say yes all the time, but I usually always say yes if it's animal related.
Exactly.
Right.
And then sometimes if I get hit up too many times too close together for things that are not animal related, sometimes I have to start saying, I'm sorry, we're stretched a little thin. Let me know next time. But there are other things that are close to my heart, like refugee ministry
Yes.
groups.
Right.
Those are near and dear
Right.
to me, or things that are LGBT related are near and dear to me. So there are other things that are not animal related that are still very special causes to me that I always say yes to. So those are my always yeses, animal related or things that are near and dear to me. And then I try to still say yes as much as I can.
That's really good because it's hard sometimes to get things that are going to attract people's attention and that promise to make good silent auction items, for example. But you also are doing things that educational. Oh, should we let you talk about your charitable stuff first, and then we'll talk
Sure.
about education?
I'm going to finish texting.
Sure. Well, and,
Text
and on that
Rebecca
note,
Eves and make sure that she knows we're talking about her.
on that note, on Saturday at BBC's Dogtoberfest.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, it's great. It's so much fun. And I'm not going to be able to attend this year. I'll be out of town. And I've been there every year since it started. But what Rudy Greens is doing for that event is we're donating product,
Oh, cool.
and we are serving Rudy Greens to the dogs tableside this year. So we're
That's
actually made a
hilarious.
doggy menu
Holy
with all
smoke.
of our offerings, and customers can purchase a plate of Rudy Greens for $5 with all the proceeds going to Saving Sunny, and the BBC wait staff will bring it warmed to the table.
Bluegrass
How about
Brewing
that?
Company right in the
Love
middle of
'em.
St. Matthews. It's a great brew pub, and they
Yes.
have those cool big craft beer, whatever they're called, great big canisters or whatever it is that they brew
Kegs.
beer in. Kegs? No,
Yeah,
those
what?
things that they actually do the
God, wrong
the craft
person to
beer
ask.
work. I don't drink, so I don't really
I
know.
don't know.
They're gigantic machines of some sort. Somebody's going to tell me. It's okay.
There you
Leah
go.
Leah from Apocalypse is my next door neighbor. I'll ask her when I see
She
her.
will know, but that's going to go on from 1 till 6. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day, and I know they have outside seating as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, it is
So
gonna be pretty good.
Dogtoberfest. That's going to be a
Absolutely.
whole
It'll be
lot of
fun.
fun.
Yes.
Now, is that strictly going, oh, look, High Five Donuts. I love that food truck. Local pet vendors, such as yourself. Were you guys going to both be there?
Barkstown Road can't this year. We won't have a booth, but I think we're going to do some stuff for their raffle.
Oh, very
and stuff.
nice.
Yeah,
Very nice. There's
yeah.
a dog costume contest, live music, and they're going to give a portion of their sales to Saving Sunny.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah.
wonderful. I love that. So now we talk about education. You are so big on teaching people who come into your store what is good, what is not so good, what is like kind of in the middle. And that goes not only for the type of food they eat, but toys and clothes. I mean, let me just tell you right now, there are no indestructible toys.
Yeah.
They advertise Kongs as indestructible toys. They are not. If you give them to Brady and Gracie and Wyatt, they are destructed. I don't even like to use the word destroyed. They are destructed in a very
Did the eyes go first?
deconstructed. And there's nothing soft. And
Yeah.
Gracie loves her little groundhog, and little groundhog had to go to Aunt Patty's house, so that when Gracie comes to visit, she runs around getting her groundhog and bringing it back. The boys would shred it
Yeah.
within seconds. So since they were babies, they've never ever had anything to play with.
Yeah.
So talk about your education. I know, isn't it awful? Except me. They can play with me. So talk about education as far as food and toys and all the other things that our animals enjoy.
Yeah. Well, as far as the food goes, I never want to try to sell something to someone that they can't afford. I mean, there's no point in doing that.
Exactly.
Because we have things that are all over the map as far as price goes. So that's sort of my first jumping off point is finding out what the dog's specific issues may be or what their needs are, what they can't have, and also what kind of price point we're working with. So that's sort of our jumping off point.
Yeah,
but
that
in
helps.
general, of course, the biggies, letting people know, like what we talked about before, things you don't want to see on the ingredient list. And I'll have people come in and say, well, is everything you carry holistic or organic? People hear these like hot topic words,
Right.
and I don't think they necessarily understand what they
Right.
mean.
Sure.
And I also don't think that people understand that there's not really much or any regulation on using those kinds of words, even on people food. And so that's another interesting thing to try to help to educate people, because you don't want to make anyone feel stupid.
Right.
They're not stupid for thinking these things. They just don't know.
Right.
So that's always an interesting thing to share with somebody, saying, well, those words don't really mean anything. I'm sorry to tell you that, But and then for toys, I always tell people, the more dogs you have playing with the toy, the faster miles are going to get put on said toy.
Right.
Rubber toys are always going to be more durable.
Sure.
I love a brand that we carry that's made here in the USA. They're very eco-friendly, and they have a lifetime guarantee on their rubber toys.
Wow.
So that's cool. I really send people in that direction a lot
Sure.
when they have multiple dogs who are big chewers.
You'll have to tell me what the
I'll have
go
to show
ahead.
you.
Just tell me. What's the brand?
Oh, Westpaw.
Westpaw.
Mhm. They're really cool.
Wow.
I like them. We carry
I might
pretty
actually
much
be
their
able to
whole
give them
line.
toys.
I know. Well, and then I also have things that are kind of like a canvasy material that they're not the plushy ones, but they're not a hard rubber, and those seem to last really well. And then even our plush toys, I'm really big on things that have a mesh lining.
Yes.
Things that don't have like plastic eyes that they're going to
Right.
like chew off and swallow.
Right.
Those
They're
are the first thing
eyes.
to go.
Yeah.
Eyes are always the first thing to go.
And I also really
that way
like.
they can't see you coming.
I really like.
There's a reason for that.
I really like some of the toys we carry that have the parts sewn on separately. So like
right.
the tail is sewn together and then sewn on the body. So once the dog rips the tail off,
Yes.
it's not going to create a hole where then they can start pulling all the stuffing out. It's just the toy's
that's the
still
end.
intact.
Tail's just
So,
gone.
Yeah.
Clean amputation.
Exactly.
Done.
Exactly.
No guts.
Exactly.
No guts, no glory.
guts, no
So those are the things I always kind of try to tell people
Yeah.
and those are some of the things that make up some of my favorite toys. And
So do you have little educational seminars at any point, or is this a one-on-one thing?
Yeah, we
had one last week.
Did
yes,
you
we
really?
did.
Yes, and
So-
she had one last night. She has a little. So she has a fall continuing education series
I
going
love
on right
that.
now, and Rudy Greens did one last week. We
I
talked
love
about
it.
this is another thing that's
Yeah.
great about Barkstown Road. Is their willingness, like Kim said, to help people understand what you can do, even if you can't afford to buy the most expensive brand of dog food that she sells. She's willing to help you figure out how to boost the nutrition with real food and I came in to talk about that, just saying what you can do with your dog's diet to boost not only the nutrition but to give them the variety and the joy, to have a fun thing to do. I mean, there's you can't screw up cooking for your dog. I mean, really, they're pretty. They're pretty. Oh no, they're pretty. They're not real critical.
That's true.
No.
And you know what I think that's interesting about this particular food that Carla gave me? She told me to go ahead and just put it over the top of my food. It's not like it's the only thing that they can eat. And that's what's so interesting about it. And
Makes it affordable.
It does make it
and
affordable.
user-friendly,
Yeah.
yes.
Definitely.
So-
and you can do it as needed. You don't have, of course, we both would love for people to put Rudy Greens
On there every
their
night.
dog's dry food every single
Right.
day. But if you can't afford that, pick one up and, put it on once a week.
And once a week,
Or-
and
and
if
that's
you're
still better
steaming
than
broccoli or
nothing.
carrots, that's fine too. That's if you're cooking a meal, you can certainly include that in your dog's course. You're not, but
No,
other
I'm just
people
gonna,
do.
I'm
Other
just
people
gonna
do.
put the one packet of Rudy Greens in the microwave for 1 minute, put some salt and pepper in it, my dinner, done. You think I'm kidding.
It is a pretty good price, too, I guess.
It
if
is.
You're talking
It really
about,
is.
Human food.
Yeah. Quality.
Yeah, I don't eat a
Absolutely.
lot.
No fillers in it.
So here's another thing. My dear friend and neighbor, Maddie Tonini,
Yeah, I love Maggie.
whose dog also has cancer, but hers, at this point, Reggie's has been a lot worse because he has had to have a ton of chemo. And that's been really hard on him. But she found out that goat's milk, which you have,
Right.
Yes.
is incredibly helpful. And I want you to
Yes.
expand on that just a little bit. But she actually gave me a half gallon.
Oh,
And I know
sweet.
it's
So
I know it's
sweet.
not cheap,
It's not.
so
Yeah.
it was a really nice gift.
it's a great gift, but you
Yeah.
don't need. That's another thing. You don't need to
Yes.
use a lot of it.
And a
It is
little bit is-
really great product.
A
It's
little
real.
bit is better than nothing. I mean, my
Yes.
dad puts a tablespoon on his Chocolate Labs food.
Yeah.
And the daily
Exactly.
recommended amount is 3/4 of a cup, but a tablespoon
Better,
is better
than
nothing. So
and a huge amount of difference in a dog who's getting a bland, dry diet.
right,
Yes,
and
huge
another
difference.
thing I'll be sure to mention is raw. It's raw goat's milk, so
Raw
it's not
and
the goat's
pasteurized,
milk,
correct.
right? So
fermented.
it's fermented and it's raw. Now those are the main things that make it different from something you would pick up from the grocery
Right.
store.
You're not going to buy a can of it.
Right.
It's not the same thing.
It's not the same
Right.
thing. Because by law, of course, in Kentucky, for human consumption, milks have to be pasteurized. This is not made for human consumption, so it's raw, it's fermented, and that's where all of the good health benefits come
And
in to
it
play.
The good
stinks.
bacteria.
It stinks, but the dogs love it.
Yeah, that's so funny. I guess
Imagine
I'm
that.
so used to it. I don't.
I
It is kind of
stuck my nose
clumpy.
in it, and it was like, ew.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
the dogs
It does
just go
start
crazy.
to.
I open up the thing. I open up the little carton,
Yeah.
and they're running to me. And I pour it in their bowls. I don't even put it on the food. You know,
Yeah.
if I forget, I pour it in the bowls, and they're over there lapping it up. And I think one of the most one of the big questions I have for either one of you, and this is, Carla would love this one. Why do they go crazy when I open a can of wet food? And I call it puppy crack in our household. But what is the difference between that and Gracie is such a little princess. If I don't put some wet food in her dry food, and she did not like the goat's milk. So she wants the wet food in the dry food, and if there's any turkey in the refrigerator, she also demands turkey.
Oh my gosh.
She told her agent green
That's her
M&Ms,
favorite.
turkey, and wet food only in her dressing room.
Sweat.
That's so
Well,
funny.
why is it? What is it? The puppy crack?
The
Doesn't matter what brand it is
no,
either.
No, the palatability, fragrance, if you will, the additives that they put in canned food, and they spray on the end of the extrusion process for dry food is not only a significant amount of the nutritional value that's in those foods, but it's also what makes the dog eat it.
Wow.
So that's intended to be that way, and in a can it's on the top.
Oh,
So when you open
interesting.
that can, that's
Oh,
that
yeah.
little layer on the top there. That's what smells so bad to us and so great to them. Again, I'm sure their bodies are completely confused by the fact that it smells really good, and they want to eat it, but their bodies are still craving the nutrition that's not in it in a lot of cases. That is why people wonder why dry food often feels oily, and that is again because there's a spray that's put on at the end of the
I
process
never
that
knew that.
has the amino acids and the vitamins and minerals and the oils back in it that are cooked out in the process.
Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I was going to say, in addition to that dogs have way less taste buds than
Yes.
humans do,
But much better smell.
Of course, right? Their sense
Right.
of smell is
Right.
like I couldn't even do the math on the top of my head.
yeah.
Like we have like 5 million like olfactory
Right.
sensors, and they have like 220 million or
Oh
something.
my
so
gosh.
so when they smell something that's different from what they're usually eating, that's exciting
To them, yeah.
Now with cats, same thing with cats. Cats have even less taste buds than dogs, but for the same reason, they recognize what they eat by the sense of smell, and cats are different than dogs because, well, for many reasons, of course, but one of the reasons is because they are by nature, they don't want to eat new things. So that's
Right.
why it's harder to switch cats, but of course
Right.
not impossible, and we can always help with that transition. But yeah, that's really what I was thinking to add, that they can smell that something's different. And
Yeah.
for dogs, that's really exciting and interesting.
Here's a little piece of trivia about the difference between their noses and ours. When we walk into a kitchen and we smell spaghetti sauce,
Yeah.
they smell garlic, basil, oregano, parsley, tomatoes, and they smell every ingredient separately.
Holy
that
smoke.
it is that their brains perceive it broken down. So
And
yeah,
you
you're
and
not
where
gonna-
you've
yeah,
been
where
that
you've
day
been,
and what's
where
in the trash.
exactly,
Oh,
and
they
what
know.
somebody's cooking 3.5 blocks away,
And whether I've been cheating with another dog.
you go,
Definitely.
right?
Oh
exactly.
man, they are all over my pant legs when I come in. So my dogs, this is something that many people will say. My dogs are so smart that when I open the drawer that has the can opener in it to open a can of wet food, they are on it.
They have great memories.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? And people are always talking about, oh, dogs just live in the present. They don't remember the past and they don't look to the future. I know they remember the past.
yeah.
How
I
could
don't
they
think they
train?
dwell. I just don't think they dwell.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they,
Exactly.
when
They
it
don't
comes
dwell
to
and they don't
food-
worry, but of course they're cognizant.
Yes.
Yeah, right. When they remember, when
Yeah.
they get something tasty, the chain of events that
Yes,
happened that led to
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
I always find it funny too that when Gracie travels with me, and whenever I take her to a new place, she's so excited at the new scents, and she sniffs and sniffs forever. And I love taking the dogs on a walk to a new neighborhood, to a new place, because that's so exciting to them. What they're now,
Yeah.
I know, quarter of a billion or whatever. What did you say? 225 billion?
Yeah, I think it's like 200 or 220 million compared
Million.
to our 5 million.
Oh my
I think
gosh,
is,
that's
is
incredible.
the difference. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. Kim Reese is in the studio with us from Barkstown Road on Frankfur Avenue. So is Carla Haas from Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine. And coming up in just a moment, we're going to be talking World Series with Harry Rothgerber right here on WCHQ Crescent Hill Radio.
I wake up 9:30. The sun is shining and I'm feeling fine. I get up, go downstairs, and out the back door in the morning air. Walk around my backyard, smell the flowers, shout at passing cars. I lay down right in the grass, happy not to let this moment pass. Whatever the weather, it's gonna be the best day ever. Whatever the weather, it's gonna be the best day ever.
Oh, there goes Nick Pay. I not only get to spend the afternoon with Nick Pay and some wonderful friends named Carla Haas and Kim Reese, but I also have the opportunity to spend the evening with the lovely and the beautiful and the talented Ryan Sinclair. She has all the little pieces, and she's a fantastic musician. I'm going to be bringing them in for the Homegrown Radio Hour. It's going to be at 7 o'clock tonight, right here on WCHQ 100.9 FM. Crescent Hill Radio. Love that. Let's finish up our Waggin Wednesday. And, I always love to show the beautiful graphic of Waggin Wednesday that Kathy Weisbach made.
As it should be. That's the correct.
Well,
That's a correct ratio.
we have a great opportunity to promote animal rescue, instruction and education about animals. I love to have Carla in from Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine because she has just this incredible knowledge of animal nutrition and the food that is human quality, and I love that. And I love to have you in, Kim, because you've just got this incredible background in animals and the kinds of things they eat and they play with and they love and their behaviors. And, I think sometimes that you probably missed your calling and you should have been a vet.
Aw,
Did you think about it at one point?
No, I didn't.
Really? I'm surprised.
I'm not really into biology and things.
Math.
As far I just think back to college, like my friends I knew that were going into the medical field and all the biology classes they were taking, and I just was never really fully into biology. I mean, there's certain parts of it. And of course, I guess talking about the way dogs eat and the way their bodies work is biology.
That's right.
But
Sure.
Practical
so
science.
short story long, I didn't really ever think about becoming a vet.
My childhood best friend always wanted to be a vet from the time she was a kid, and she ended up becoming an equine surgeon, which is pretty awesome.
It is.
That's great.
And, it takes a long time to get there. So, it's the college, it's the 4 years of vet school, it's the 3 years of residency
think,
plus the year of internship, and then you have to go for your specialty.
And vets have, it's so much, it really, in many respects, it's harder because they have to learn so many different species.
Right.
Like with MDs, it's just humans, which mine were complicated, but not so many species.
I often go into my vet and ask him what's wrong with me, and they say, you might be a redneck if you go to your vet for human medical advice.
Well, it's interesting. One of my dogs, Otto, developed an autoimmune disorder from a tick bite, and
Oh, my God.
we think that he got it the same day that one of our best friends. We were all together, and Otto and our best friend Joe were having the same symptoms, and Joe was going to the doctor.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
they could not pinpoint what it was, and it took us months to get Otto properly diagnosed in like 6 different vets, but Otto was finally properly diagnosed, and the vet that diagnosed him said, have your friend go to the doctor and specifically ask to be tested for this, because for
Wow.
whatever reason, vets have an easier time. I guess there's a larger panel that they can test for.
Right.
Of course, they can't test for everything, but there's a larger panel, I guess, that they can test for versus what human doctors have the ability to test for. So anyway, that example just popped in my head. But
So how did they find the tick, or did you find the tick on Otto?
yeah, so it was kind of a combination. He had a tick on him that we missed, that was on him for 36 hours maybe
Holy
until we
smoke.
found it. And then the next day he was also vaccinated. He had already an appointment to go get one of his regular vaccines. And the tick bite and the vaccine sent his immune system completely haywire.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
And that's really what kicked off that illness that we dealt with Otto, is really what kicked off what started Barkstown Road. And part of why I know as much as I do about, or have as much experience, I should say, with ailments that a lot of our dogs face.
Yeah.
So,
And my dogs have been so lucky because Gracie's 11 and then Brady's 10 and Wyatt is almost 9. And this is the first, the mast cell cancer is the first major health crisis that we've had in the pack.
Yeah.
Brady's got thyroid, so he takes his little Synthroid every day, like humans do.
Yeah.
But they're all just really healthy dogs, and that's what's been so scary about it, is just not having the experience of dealing with it.
Yeah.
But they're going to drink their goat's milk, and they're
should've
going to
brought
eat
you
their
some.
Rudy Greens. It's
Good.
okay. Maddie was very kind to share the load with me. So
that is sweet.
I know,
and
she's
her
pretty
dog
awesome.
is doing just so much better than
Yeah.
I think both she and her vet ever expected him
Yes.
to be doing. And
Yes.
and she attributes it to the raw diet that she gets from us and the raw
Exactly.
milk she gets from us, which is wonderful.
nutrition, right.
Those are
Food.
really special things.
Real
that,
food.
Yeah.
And there's a little homeopathic going on as well as, the scientific aspects of things. And I love naturopathic remedy and I use it myself. But then there's that point where you're just terrified that something's happening and you want somebody else who has more experience than you to tell you what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And, we can go to you and you can do that. We can learn a lot from Carla with Rudy Greens is great.
Definitely.
And the vets also have just a tremendous amount of experience. And I'm very fortunate at East Louisville Animal Hospital to have a series of great vets. And I was with Dr. Mike Brockman for years. He took care of my puppies from the time I brought them in for the first time. And Frank Knuckles, the most outstanding vet tech in the entire universe. There are many good vet techs, but he is my special favorite only because he has taken care of the puppies. And he was in the surgery with Brady. And he said to the doctor, Doc, nothing can happen to this dog.
Oh my God.
You don't understand how scary it will be for you if Tara has any dog loss. So I'm very grateful to all of them. I'm grateful to you, Kim Reese of Barkstown Road on Frankfur Avenue, and Carla Haas of Rudy Green's Doggy Cuisine for not only keeping my dogs fed, but helping with my diet as well. Probably a lot healthier than what I make for myself.
You're welcome.
I'm thinking about making up some of the beef stew tonight and just seeing what Mother thinks of it.
Yeah, don't. Oh,
Put a little salt and pepper on.
I know.
know.
Don't tell her.
She was taking such a nice nap until I offered to
Serve
feed
her
her
the
dog
turkey mac and
food.
cheese.
Thank you all so much for being with us this evening.
Having us.
Always.